Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark. This is Spiguyver Backpacking, and today we're out on the trail. It's been a while, and I'm still not fully recovered. I'm still kind of dragging a little bit, and I've had to make some changes to plans coming up. Now, anybody who's been following the channel knows that we had a Grand Canyon trip coming up, and it is in less than 2 weeks, and today is the first time I've done anything since coming out of the hospital. I haven't been working out, I haven't been walking, I haven't been doing anything. And so I have canceled that trip. Rain Man and Greg, they're still going. They're still gonna head out there and have some fun. But for me, I'm gonna be sticking around, not doing it. It was just, with everything that's gone on, my numbers are still slightly elevated. It just wasn't a smart thing to go out and push myself to that degree. You know, rim to rim to rim is not an easy challenge. It's gonna be hot, gonna be sweating. So figured it was best to play it safe, live to see another day, and head out and do another one at another time. So today I'm back on the AT. I am just south of the New York-New Jersey border, and I'm actually heading south. I don't know how far I'm gonna go. We will see. There are shelters along the way. If I make it to a shelter, that's great. If I don't make it to a shelter, it's not the end of the world. I know there are some sections you're not supposed to camp outside of the shelters, but you know how that goes. All right, so let's go hit the trail. Let's go see what we can find this weekend and have some fun. So let's go. Bear and a cub right over there. Let's see if they move. Oh, there's 2 cubs. See another one coming up. The big one is right between the 2 trees in front of me. It's just moving. You can't really see it right now. I'm trying to get a little bit better shot. There's a fourth cub. Fourth cub coming up the hill. So I told myself that if I was gonna come out here this weekend, I was gonna have to pay attention to my body, pay attention to how I was feeling, and do things like this, stopping and actually getting something to eat, which is something I don't normally do. So my pace has been relatively slow today. I did bring the chair, so I've got the chair set up, sitting here relaxing, waiting for my food to rehydrate. I don't have a clue how far I've gone, but it's like 1:30 right now, so a good time to stop and get something to eat. I didn't actually hit the trail till like 10:45, so I haven't been on the trail all that long today. I've got plenty of food with me, and I've got liquid IV. I've got some other drinks that are electrolyte loaded, so really making sure that I'm staying healthy on this one.
Chasing mountains I can't climb, holding out for heroes in the night. I find myself here in the dark. We learn to fight and learn who we are, but I am raised up to face the stars, full of light, and we are makes you shiver, and I chase the winter out of my mind like a dark in the distance. We are
All right, so it's a little after 4, and I decided it was time to stop for the day. Did I have the energy to keep going? I did. I think I've done somewhere between 9 and 11 miles. I think I'm about 2 miles from the next shelter, maybe a little over 2 miles. But either way, I decided, I sat down, I set up my chair, sat down for a little bit, and was just like, I think I'm done for the day. So I set up the hammock, and it is really nice laying in here. I've got this bug net on here. It's the Zip Up Bug Net, and it is great. It's great to have this on here, keep the mosquitoes out. I had one mosquito get in here. I got him. He's no more threat to me. And this area is just, oh God, it's horrible with mosquitoes. And so I'm gonna stay in here for a little while. I don't know, probably hour and a half. Think about doing some dinner, and yeah, go from there. Unfortunately, there's no water anywhere near here, and so I've got to kind of figure out what I want to do for water tomorrow. I know that if I go past the next shelter, which I think is about 2 miles, maybe 3, I don't know, down the mountain on the other side, there is a spigot that people get water from, like an old abandoned house. Last I saw it was still good, so might go hit that. I don't know. We'll see, but I definitely know I'm only going to probably go max 4 miles. That makes 8 miles back to here. Then if I go 3 to 4 miles that direction, gives me like 11 to 12 for the day tomorrow. We'll see how I'm feeling. But there was a spot that I passed earlier today that is where I really would like to end up tomorrow. Beautiful, beautiful spot right by a river or creek. I like being by water. I don't like dry camps, because all I've got is the water that I have with me. And so, you can't just sit here and guzzle a bunch of water. Even if that's what you'd like to do, you can't do it. Got to ration out, know what I've got for breakfast, know what I've got for coffee, know what I've got for dinner, and then the rest of it can be for drinking the rest of the night.
We are wild and strong. We are
So for lunch today, I had the Peak Refuel chicken pesto pasta, which I've never had before. I'm not usually a pesto type guy, but the guy at REI suggested it. And so I was getting some food yesterday, and I decided to throw that one in. And I was extremely happy with that decision, because it was really, really good. One of the really good ones from Peak. Tonight I've got the chicken Alfredo pasta. I was actually going to do the cheesy chicken and broccoli, which is really good, but it requires a couple of extra ounces of water, and I wanted to keep as much water as I could to drink. And so I went with this one, which only required 8 ounces of water. And I'll tell you how this one is. So far, I've killed about 112 mosquitoes, and I have been bitten 5-6 times that I know of. 2 on my neck, 1 on my shoulder, 1 on my foot, 2 on my leg. There's a lot of mosquitoes around. All right, let's give this one a try. I think I've had this one before, but it's been a while. So let's try it. Oh yeah, that'll do. That's really good. Good morning. As usual, I slept really well in this thing. Got a little over 8 hours of sleep, and feeling pretty good this morning. Feeling rested and ready. So I'm gonna get up and start getting things ready, do breakfast. I don't think I've got enough water for both breakfast and coffee, but what I will do is probably breakfast requires less water, and then first water source I hit, pull the chair out, pull the stuff out, make some coffee. Yeah, I don't really have huge plans for the day. We'll just kind of go, do what we do, see where we where we end up. And like I said yesterday, there was a spot I'd like to hit, but who knows, I might find something else. So last night, you can see I've got the tarp up now. Last night I was laying here and I heard something and I was like, huh, that sounds weird. So I pulled up the radar and there was a thin line of storms coming up. I got the tarp set up and it literally rained for 45 seconds and then was gone. So super, super small. But I didn't know if there was anything else going to form, any others. I had a 0% chance of precipitation overnight, but it happened. So real quick threw the tarp up, and better safe than sorry. So like I said before, I don't normally do breakfast, especially out on the trail. I usually I'm the guy that likes to get up and immediately hit the trail. But today we're gonna change that and we're gonna make up some breakfast and do that. So, get the spoon out. And the mosquitoes are already being a huge pain in the ass. Already. So that's all the water I've got left right now. So it's enough for breakfast, but probably not definitely not enough to do up coffee. And I did bring the AeroPress Go and good coffee. So, I don't want to ruin that by not doing it right. So we'll take our time, we'll find the right spot to do breakfast, and that's what we'll do. Now I've never done this breakfast and I did not bring the instructions, so maybe what I will do is look it up online, what it says for instructions, how long to let this one sit. This is a little bit different. All right, let's give this thing a try. Should be good. Okay. Yeah, I can deal with this. came up Stairway to Heaven, and this is a very popular area. Really, the Boardwalk and then up Stairway to Heaven are both really, really popular areas, and I've seen hundreds of people over the last couple of hours. I can hear some people down there. I actually came up a side trail, a very lightly used side trail, and found this nice spot. And so I'm just sitting here relaxing. There's a little bit of a breeze, which feels really good. For whatever reason, this particular spot, there are no mosquitoes, so I'm really enjoying it. I just had a snack, a little bit to drink. I'm just gonna sit here, chill out for a little while, and enjoy it. All right, so as you guys can see, I'm no longer on the trail. I ended up hiking out that day. I had gone about a mile. There were two places on the map that looked like they might have had water. Neither one of them had any water, so I turned around and hiked out. So I think for the weekend I ended up doing about 22 miles, which wasn't bad. Not bad for having literally sat on the couch for 3 weeks. You know, I spent a few days in the hospital and then just recovering, and really up until the Friday prior to this trip, I did not have clearance to do anything. My numbers were still elevated a little bit, even going into this weekend, and so I wanted to make sure that I really looked after myself, I really took care of myself, and I was paying attention to my body. And so when I didn't find water, it was time to turn around, started hiking out. I got to the place where I said I was going to stop, or was thinking about stopping, and there was a guy there with his big dog and his kids, and they were already set up. And so I knew I was about 5 miles from the trailhead at that point, and I was still feeling pretty good. I was moving along, you know, not too bad. And so I pushed on and got out. 2 miles before the trailhead is where I passed the shelter. And I had a small thought, you know, I'm starting to feel a little bit worn down. Maybe I'll just stay the night at the shelter. But being only 2 miles from the end, I decided to just push on. And it was probably a little much for me that day. You know, it was probably around a 12-mile day. And after, you know, being on my butt and being out of commission and not doing anything, it was that was a pretty big day for me with the pack, with everything on. One thing I will say, and I know Rain Man's going to chime in that it's blasphemous to say this, but I was extremely happy to have the chair with me. I took a lot of breaks, and every time I stopped, I had the chair just on the top. I'd get the chair, put it together, sit on it, do what I needed to do. If I was filtering water, if I was taking a break, if I was getting a snack, if I was doing lunch, which that was another thing I don't normally do, but I actually did up lunches and ate. It was actually really nice to have a chair to sit in and do that. the mosquitoes were another piece that kind of drove me off the trail. I did not want to have to endure another night, another day of the mosquitoes. There were points where normally if you keep moving, the mosquitoes won't bite you. But as I was moving, I was smacking them, you know, full of blood. They were already sucking my blood. Yeah, I had a lot of bites off of this trip. And so I just didn't want to put up with the mosquitoes, which that's probably the primary reason I decided not to stay at the shelter, but keep pushing on. It's just, I was sick of the mosquitoes at that point. I am ready for mosquitoes to be gone. That, or I'm going to try and find a full, maybe like a beekeeper. Maybe that's it. Maybe I need a beekeeper suit to hike in, because that was no fun. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below, and I will see you guys down the trail.